Asian Network.
Asim, I want to go back though to where you all of a sudden became a pop sensation in Pakistan because, like you said, you did perform for the BBC Asian Network 5 years ago at London Villa. But people were calling you Pakistan's answer to Ed Sheeran or the Pakistani Justin Bieber.
Yes.
And I don't think that those titles do your talent justice because you're a pop star in your own right. You don't need to be called Pakistan's anything.
Yes.
Do you feel like you built your own identity over those 5 years?
Yeah, I remember when I was getting all these labels, and obviously they mean a lot because, you know, names like Ed Sheeran, names like Justin Bieber, and I've always said this, they're international superstars. So for a boy from Karachi, all of a sudden getting compared or just being mentioned in the same sentence is huge, right? But I remember I said this about 4 or 5 years ago when I kind of got fed up of, you know, the labels and stuff. I said I want to be Pakistan's Asim Azhar. And I don't know why I said that. I don't know how I was going to manage to change that. But I guess it's been going great. I've been very grateful. I've been very lucky and blessed because certain things that have come into my career weren't as planned, and they just kind of it just felt like a puzzle getting completed one by one. Or, you know, like you mentioned, Ke, when did you sort of become the pop sensation back home? If I go back and I think about it, I can't think of a certain point. I can't think of a certain moment where I just, you know, I feel like it's just been this journey that I've been on because I started when I was 16. You know, last time I was here, I was 17. I'm 22 now. And I feel like it's just this journey. And for some reason, I don't realize that it's been 5 to 6 years. It feels like it's only been a year or two since but maybe that's because it has been a couple of years since people have actually started to take me seriously.
You said during an interview with Bobby Friction that you recorded in Karachi a couple of months ago that Coke Studios was the turning point in a lot of ways.
Yes, of course. Coke Studio was definitely the turning point because it actually made me venture into an audience, a mainstream audience, a commercial. I'll give you an example. So, you know, in my starting years, in the first 2-3 years, I would go out and there used to be, you know, young girls and very rarely young boys coming up to me because shuru mein boys always used to have this certain kind of, I don't know, this mixed feelings towards me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it was really nice, but I always used to think, you know, it'd be nice if not just them, but everyone kind of knew me and appreciated me. And Coke Studio in my life played a huge role. You know, I can't say it enough because I remember this one moment where this was after Tera Wo Pyar, you know, with Momna. And I remember I was driving and I wanted some McDonald's and I went to drive-through. And the guy working there, when he recognized me, that's when I felt कि, you know, मैंने कुछ किया है. Because I've always thought that these hardworking people, these so-called middle class or whatever classes we've actually given them, which don't make sense to me ever, but you know, these people actually working day and night, who are not privileged enough, I feel like they're the actual people. I feel like they're the voice of the nation, and it's when they accept you, you should feel accepted.
Did you feel that sense of acceptance when your track Tera Wo Pyar crossed 100 million views on YouTube?
Yes, I just froze because you just mentioned it. It's absolutely amazing because you have to understand, coming from Pakistan where YouTube was banned for 3 years, right when I started. If you would have asked me this question, that do you ever see yourself hitting that milestone, I would laugh it off and I'd say inshallah.
It's only the second Pakistani song ever to cross that milestone.
Yeah, and I keep hearing these facts, and as much as I want to celebrate them, I try my best not for it to get to me, because I know how easy it could be for a young guy to just get, to just get messed up around his head.
And you're only 22. I mean, I thought you were older than that now, but I forget that you were only 17
When I met you, yes,
Yeah, of
I was
course.
only 17 when I met you guys
At
here.
22, to have that kind of fame, that kind of love, it must be overwhelming sometimes.
It definitely is, but I always say this: it's the people around me, my family, my friends, a few friends that I have, because over the past years I've realized the word friend is a huge responsibility. It's such a big label that you can't give it to anyone. We do, but we can't in reality. So yeah, my certain friends that I have, my family, they help me the most stay grounded, because I'd be performing for about a couple of thousand people in Karachi, and then I'd come back home, and then Ammi would scold me for leaving my clothes on the ground. So it just balances it out really well. But I feel like इसमें मेरा इतना नहीं है जितना the people around me have effect on me.
You think the people around you have kind of kept you grounded?
Of course, if I had yes men around me, if I had people who would just do nothing but big me up
But it's
24/7.
It's not just the yes men, right? Because you're basically friends with the biggest stars in the country.
Yeah.
Your social circles have adapted accordingly.
Of course.
It must be a lot to take in at 22 years old. And I'm not saying that in a patronizing way, but 22 is still a very impressionable age.
Of course, if you think about it, it could have gone really crazy for me, and I'm so happy to be in a place like this and to talk about this openly. That it could have gone so extreme for me, but then again, I've been so lucky that even the friends and even the colleagues I've met on my way up here have been genuine people, and I also kind of I've also kind of made this habit of, well, I try to realize and recognize real people, and I try to go with whatever vibe I get from people, and I could be wrong, but I try to stick to it. So agar if someone gives me a bad vibe, I will try to avoid them. So anyone you've seen me around, at that point I got great vibes from them, and it's really true. The entertainment industry could be poisonous. It could be it could absolutely be toxic.
Have you seen that side to it as well?
Oh yes, of course. I've seen so many people get
Sucked in?
sucked in, and it's scary. It's really scary, but at the end of the day, you just have to do yourself. You just have to. I have this little logic behind that. What I want is, I want to keep my head straight. I want to stay true to myself. I want to stay true to my art. And I want to stay true to the people around me that I love and that love me. And if I succeed in doing that, there is no way that I won't just get successful in whichever way I want.
Clearly it's working. One of the other people
Gee.
that is around you quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know who I'm going to say.
Yeah, I know where this is going.
You know where this is going.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk to me about who I'm about to ask you about? Who is she?
You should just do it.
Okay.
Just
Hania Amir
Yeah.
is somebody that you spend a lot of time with.
yes.
I'm just going to ask you straight. What's your relationship status with Hania Amir?
I feel like she's the kind of person that brings a lot of positivity in my life, and she's an amazing person. I was just thinking this the other day. It's just that it's so much fun being around her. We're always laughing. We're always just messing around, and it's just nice to have someone be genuinely supporting for whatever you do, and I see that in her, and I try to give her the same. I try to give her the same respect that she gives me, and it's just amazing to find a person like that, and in this time, in this kind of industry. And let me just say this: I really struggled to find people who were younger than me, and I find, but she's also 22, but she's still younger.
Are you in a relationship with Hania Amir?
Are you gonna put me on spot like that?
I'm gonna ask you. You can say whatever you want, but I have to do my job and ask you.
I don't think you see my heart beating really fast. I don't think I'm in a position to answer that really casually or really frankly, because I feel like she, as a person in my life, also has her individuality to to have the choice to answer that. If we were together here right now, I'd look at her, and then, but I feel like all I want to say is that I'm really lucky to have her in my life, and she just makes me really happy.
Well,
And
you both look very happy. Certainly on social media,
Yeah.
the amount of time you spend together.
Yeah.
You're also starring in a telefilm together, right?
yes, we did a telefilm together for Hum TV. That was supposed to come out on Valentine's Day, but it didn't make the cut because of some delays. But it should be out very soon. I had a lot of fun shooting it. Ehsan Talish, a great director,
Who made Suno Chanda?
who made Suno Chanda, Alif, Allah, or Insan, and other names that I can't remember right now. But he's a hit maker, and it was a pleasure working with him. Always wanted to work with him. So yeah, he directed it, and I'm just waiting for it to come on air because it's really a fun telefilm.
You know, your reservations about talking openly about whether you are or aren't dating Hania also stem from social conditioning in Pakistan, right? Because dating culture isn't really a thing.
But you know what? The only reason for me to be however I am right now is only because I respect her.
No,
as
that's fine.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get to it. So I respect her as an individual, and I would, just any comment, whether yes or no, I would want her consent. I respect her choice and opinion because I feel like we all should, right? I don't want to say something on my own and then have the other person say, okay, I'm also involved in this equation, whatever question was asked. So that's a different thing. Definitely not because of any social pressure. I wouldn't, if there was any social pressure, I would have, like, any celebrity or any artist would have their manager come to you before and make sure that, these are the questions that we don't want to talk about. So I don't roll like that.
But do you think, I mean, I've certainly seen, and you must have seen since you started out in this industry, there has been a increase in the acceptance of dating culture in Pakistan. You have all these couples around. This is a new phase of Pakistani celebrity culture, is it not?
Yeah, I was just speaking to my cousin about this the other day that kuch arsa pehle, it would be kind of taboo. And I feel like now we're progressing towards a progressive society because us that were kids a few years before, we're growing into adults and our thinking is different. We're growing up in an age where equality matters a lot. And I feel like it has a lot to do with that, where we're getting aware of, the respect and equality a woman should get, especially in Pakistan. And I feel like just on that basis, it just helps so many aspects. And this is one of them that we've actually, and it's great. It's really great. I hope we can even progress further. But it's really great to see that we're finally progressing towards a society that's open to each other's opinion.
Is it all genuine? Is it all 100% genuine? And what I mean by that is that there's great business possibilities through celebrity relationships as well. And that's something we've seen. You and Hania recently did a magazine shoot together and brand endorsements together and a telefilm for Hum TV. It's quite a convenient kind of arrangement for several reasons, right?
Yes, but I honestly don't look at that way. I just feel like it's the reason why I did the telefilm is obviously because it was a great project, but also because, it was an opportunity to spend more time with a person that I like hanging out with. And anything that comes to me that has to do anything with her and is in a workspace, it obviously entrusts me because it's just with someone that I love spending time with. And she's also a great co-star, by the way.
She's a very good actress.
She's absolutely amazing.
She was the star of Parvaz-e-Junoon, without
yes,
doubt.
and so I hadn't seen Parvaz-e-Junoon, and when she found out, she was really upset about it, and she used to give me stick for it every now and then. And then, she booked a theater, or phir we had a special screening for Parwaz-e-Junoon with a couple of friends, and I finally saw it. Or before it started, I was thinking to myself, "Okay, what if I don't like it? What am I gonna say?" Because she's a very honest person.
Yeah.
She says it whatever. She says it however it is. So मैं सोच रहा था कि what if I don't like it? What am I gonna say? And luckily, it was actually a great film. Did you see it?
Yeah, I watched it. I hosted the premiere here in London.
It was actually a great film, and I'm not just saying this because of Hania, but she was absolutely the star of the film.
She was. She was
I mean,
very, very
you
good.
you could say that too as well, but she was absolutely the star of the film, and she was so good. It didn't feel like she was acting, and that's what an actor job is. So, yeah, back to your question. I don't look at it that way from a business point of view.
Do you question other people's
I do.
legitimacy?
I do. I'm in no place to, but I would lie if I said I don't do it.
Like when you're scrolling on Instagram and you see these couples,
Yeah.
do you question whether it's for the likes or whether it's real?
I mean, being in a similar situation, it's definitely kind of, changed my way of thinking as well. Because so I'm the kind of person I like to be is to give the benefit of doubt to anyone. So I do like to give the benefit of doubt to people that I really hope it's genuine. But if it's not, then it's just bad for them, because there's so many consequences that if we start talking about it right now, we'll run out of time. But again, coincidentally, I was having a conversation with my cousin about the same exact thing, that there's this certain side of business that comes with it. It's great if it's there. If it's not there, I don't care. If there's so this is how I think. If my heart, if anything has my heart in it, I'll do it. So I've been getting a lot of concern with people that you've been posting a lot of pictures together and this and that, and I just tell them, I was like, I don't know, like I appreciate your concern, but if it brings me peace, if I like doing something, if I had the choice of peace of heart or XYZ, I would always go with my peace of heart. And if that has to do with me posting pictures and sharing moments that I want to share with the world, let it be.
Moving on from Hania.
Yeah.
One of the things you are doing together is that telefilm. And
G.
I want to talk to you about acting, because
G.
have you got an interest and a passion in acting? Because it seems like in Pakistan, you have to be more versatile than just doing one thing. I recently spoke to Farhan Saeed, who of course had to make the transition from music to acting as well. Is that something that you're taking seriously? Is it something you're investing a lot of time and effort into?
So music will always be my number one priority, until people don't want to hear me, until I feel that. I've always said this before as well. So in Pakistan, recently, a lot of singers and musicians have kind of converted into acting and stuff. But you have to understand that they were in the music industry for a while. They were there. Excuse me. They were there. They spent years doing what they did. They did great amount of music. They accomplished great things. And, after, let's say, after a decade or so, they decided to venture into acting when I'm sure they're satisfied with their accomplishments in music. I've kind of started my journey just now. And thanks to, people that appreciate me, I feel like it's going well. I would always want to succeed and focus on what I do and make my mark there first, and then venture into something new. But that doesn't mean it would stop me from, just trying something for fun, just a little something, just here and there. But if you want me to be honest, I would never want to be that example of jack of all, master of none. I would really, really want to make my mark, because I want the people to know that this is what I've chose.
It's a hard decision though, right? Because
Of course.
the music industry, although we keep talking about how it's reviving and how we keep talking about how it's thriving, and yes, your songs are crossing hundreds of millions of views, but there's no established record labels that
Yes.
are signing on artists.
Yes.
There's hardly any pay in it unless you're on the live performance circuit.
Yes.
It's a difficult choice to make, is it not?
Of course it is. Of course it is. But that kind of tests your character. That's where the test of your character comes in, because I chose this. It really matters a lot to me as a person. Like when it comes to myself, I'm kind of the biggest judge for myself. Even so, I'll give you an example. I'm really selective when it comes to digital brand endorsements and stuff, right? Because I feel like if someone's following me, they look up to me as a person. They want to follow me. They will. I've I've been a fan, right? I know what it means to be a fan and what it means to idolize someone. So when these brands come up to me and they're like, oh, आप ये ribbon काट लें, आप ये किसी पोस्ट में हमें थैंक यू कर दें इस घड़ी के लिए, और आप ये हमारी जैकेट पहन लें. So I just feel like if I start doing that, obviously I'm going to start making bonus money. Lekin it's just gonna, if I was my fan, I would question my idols. I would just question my idol as a person. I would just question him ke in iska koi, like, is he genuine?
Yeah.
Or is he just doing it for the money? If he says that, our love keeps him going, is he just doing it for the money? So mujhe thoda sa, I would be a little put off. And I do see a lot of people doing that. So isi tarah, when it comes to making that decision, I want my followers to know that I've made this decision. Or yes, being practical, the day I think it's not working out for me, I will try my best not to force myself on the listeners. And if there's still acting opportunities, I might take them seriously. Are there acting opportunities right now? Yes, there are. Am I saying no to all of them? No.
So you are doing some, apart from the Hum TV telefilm, you are doing some more acting projects?
Nothing confirmed, but I'm in a zone where I'm not saying just straight up. I'm not. If there's something very exciting that kind of just excites me and like, okay, I really want to do this. I want to challenge myself. Like, I really don't want to put on a blazer and slap a wife and just tell her that I'm giving you a divorce on a drama. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because that's what we see. Like, if there's something that actually, because I've realized this, that we have a really short amount of time, and we're put in this blessed position of inspiring people. I want to use every opportunity to kind of inspire anyone. And if there's something related to acting that challenges me and that kind of gives me the opportunity to inspire even one person, I might do that.
When you have started at such a young age, is there ever a fear that you might peak too soon, or that your career might run up? Because, if you start your career at 17 like you did, or 16 like you did, and you're 22 now, and you've already had these massive hit songs, and I know you're underplaying it quite a bit, but crossing 100 million views is a massive, massive deal. Jotu Namila is about 48 million right now. So, it's the big achievements at this point. Is there a worry about what if it runs out, or what if it finishes too soon?
Haroon bhai, it was a matter of worry a few years back when I was growing up. I'm still growing up, but I would lie if I said ke maine kabhi nahi socha na. Obviously, as an artist, matlab when tera wo pyar crossed 100 million views, the only question that was in my head, ab maine kya karna hai?
Yeah.
What do I do next? How do I, because you're the biggest competition that you have yourself. So मैं यही सोच रहा था कि what now? But these past couple of years have been really beautiful. Not in terms of work, but in terms of finding myself as a human, finding myself as a person. I've learned to accept that what will happen, will happen. You cannot change that. Obviously, there'll be slight hiccups, and at the end of the day, you're a human. You're going to be upset about it for a bit. But I'm trying to work on it more, that the sooner you realize that what's going to happen will happen, it's just amazing. The acceptance is amazing. And that's really, really helped me. Matlab, now my thinking process has kind of changed. Ke, okay, if peaking for me in 22 was written, then that's it. I can't do anything else about it. All I can do is just focus on my work and go in with a positive approach. And you never know, maybe if I work even harder, maybe he writes something else for me.
Jo Tu Na Mila was a viral original. It was
Yes.
released by Universal in India.
Yes.
You have an association with them now that has
Of
come
course.
to an abrupt end because
Yes.
of the current tensions between India and Pakistan. Does that worry you as an artist? The fact that you had built a relationship with an established label, considering there is a lack of established labels in Pakistan.
Bilkul.
They were giving you a great platform.
Of course.
The song was doing well as well, and any potential for more collaboration has kind of halted, hasn't it?
Obviously, it's a tough situation to be in for me, for all the other artists that had their collaborations going, and for the label as well. But I just want to start off by saying that I have an amazing team at Universal Music India. Also, people who are running viral originals through them. They're a bunch of great people, great friends. It feels like a family. And I'd like to correct the fact that it hasn't had an end. Obviously, we've just put some things on hold because our content is very dear to us. And we'd rather want to wait and put it out at the right time than waste it, because we know how valuable content is. And, I've had a word with them and we're all on the same page. We all want to wait, and hopefully, and there's a sense of hope this time, because it's the new generation that's speaking up. It's the youth, it's the people who are actually saying that we only want peace. And that kind of gives us hope that if that's what the youth is thinking, I think that's what's going to happen. And I hope it's a matter of time. And I believe art will always progress. Art will always fall through. And if it's going to someone's ear who thinks art should be compromised, then it's not meant for their ear. If it's going to someone's ear that says, okay, we have our differences, political differences, but art shouldn't be compromised, that's the ear we want to make it for. So it's definitely put on hold right now. But like I said, the people back at my label and me, we're all on the same page, and we're just waiting for the right time. And inshallah ta'ala, we're trying our best for art to never be compromised.
Asian Network.